I don't think we should do it, Aloria. Come on, Elika. What's the worst thing that could possibly happen? My sister was always like this, pushing me in a direction that led both of us into trouble. We were in what the council called the Redacted zone. It'll be fun, I promise. My sister was 15, and me? I was merely 9. We continued on that day. Oh, how I wish we didn't. I mean, I know it was meant to be, you know, fate and all that bullshit. And after all, if we had never seen what my young, innocent eyes saw that day, I would probably be clueless to the reality around me. And if that were so, I wouldn't be who I am today. I would be in the dark at what really lies beyond the vast, uncharted oceans. I would be in the dark at what really lies beyond the Rubicon. I would listen to my elders like the rest of them. I would listen to the council, and I would believe the lies they spew. I would listen to our elected leader, the steward of our people. But I didn't then. And now, knowing what I know today, I refuse to be their mindless cattle going forward. This forest that we were in, this redacted zone, there was one penalty for those who trespassed. Any criminal trespassing within the redacted zone, the criminal would be redacted as well. It was told that one would be immediately taken and used for the military, removed from the public population. But as we approached the military structure, this hidden facility within the forest, my fears were replaced with a childlike, yet morbid curiosity. Its dark stone walls covered in moss and ivy, the large metal door that stood in the center, and the sign above it only piqued my curiosity further. Morphing Unit 17? What on earth could this place be? My sister didn't have to do much to convince me to put what followed in motion. And as the door began to open, our curious minds raced, as the sights that met our eyes took that same motion in a direction which made my blood run cold. It was a dimly lit room with glass chambers lining the walls. Within each chamber stood a person, some big and some small, men and women alike. Each one of them suspended in a yellow liquid substance. Each one stripped naked and awake, staring blankly out of their glassy cells. That's when I noticed something strange. They each had robotic features that seemed to be installed upon their skin. And as weird as it sounds, telling my story now, these robotic features seemed to be actively growing into their very own flesh. But their eyes were what caught my attention. Some had both of their eyes, but others simply had one, replaced by a robotic-looking eyeball. The sight was bad enough before I saw something I'll never forget. My uncle. He was in one of those glass chambers. He had disappeared several years ago. They said he never returned after leading his men on their daily perimeter duty. They said he had just vanished. My father told me that he most likely encountered a rogue tribe. One of the tribes that lived deep in the woods. Tribes rumored to practice cannibalism. He said they even found his remains, carved to pieces, his uniform shredded about his body. And after seeing him where he was that day, forced to live a life in the dark, unable to see, feel, or smell, how I wish that were true.
What is this? What are you doing in the redacted zone?
We ran our little hearts out that day. We ran until our hearts pounded and sweat began to pour down our brows. And it was worth it too, because eventually we managed to get away. At least I managed to get away. I never saw my sister again after that day. I traced my steps back, trying not to get caught. And that was when I saw it. At the bottom of a small hill, the thick forest all around. My sister was on the ground, a soldier with his knee in her back. She looked up at me and gave me a stern look and shook her head, warning me to stay out of it, as she didn't want me to get caught along with her. The soldier then brushed himself off as he stood up. pulling my sister to her feet. And as they walked off into the direction of Morphing Unit 17, the image of my uncle flashed across my mind. I never told my father or mother what had happened. My parents would surely disown me. I couldn't possibly come clean. I could be redacted myself. I wanted my sister back. They searched for her high and low, but I had a feeling my father would soon find out. Because you see, my father's name is Fanex, the steward of our people, and his military would soon convey to him that their newest redacted citizen was his daughter. I wasn't sure what would happen to her, or when that day would come, and I didn't want to find out, and how I was dreading I would. But when that day came, I was more concerned than I thought I could ever be. I'll never forget what he told us. He said that they had found my sister's body in the forest. He didn't even mention the redacted zone. He said that Aloria had clearly been attacked by a rogue tribe. It was a lie. Apparently, whatever my own government is up to, my father felt it was more important than my sister's very own life. And that's when my world changed. I am 24 now. I have not seen my father or my mother for 15 years. All my friends, gone. My life of a politician's daughter, over. I went back to Morphing Unit 17, but never saw my sister again. But in the last 15 years, the things I have seen have made me who I am today. My name is Elika, and I am the leader of the Redacted Resistance. And this is my story.